Okay, Ron. Could you please tell us a little about yourself? Where were you born?
Okay, I was born in Paxton, Illinois, November 3rd, 1948. My last name was not Dudley. It was Hatton. I had it legally changed in 1971.
Okay.
Because my stepfather's last name was Dudley, and I went through grade school. Mom married in 51, and I went through school as Dudley. When I went into service, I had to go in as Ronald Hatton.
Oh.
But I had it legally changed, and the record should be legally changed, so that should be my name on my military records.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Super. Did you have siblings?
Siblings?
Yeah.
2 brothers, 3 sisters.
Were they older, younger?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
So you showed them the way, right?
Yeah, more or less. I never hear the end of it either.
Uh-huh. Any other family members that are in the service?
No. Not now. My brother. I had 2 brothers that were in the service.
Oh, okay. Your 2 brothers were in.
Yeah, Air Force.
All right. Those guys. What was your occupation before entering into the service?
Well, not much of anything. I just I was working as like a labor, kind of a dock worker, so to
Okay.
speak. Yeah. I just got
So
out
how
of high
old were
school.
you when you went in the service?
I was 19.
Right out of high school, or did you?
I got drafted in '68.
Oh, you got drafted.
Yeah.
Okay, you were drafted.
Yeah, I got one of them love letters from Uncle Sam. Yeah.
Okay. And how did your family and friends feel about you going off to?
It didn't bother them.
Okay. Pleased, maybe, was happy or something there. Happy to be rid of you, maybe, huh?
Yeah, you hit it better on that, yeah.
Okay, so here's that. It asked me if you were enlisted or drafted, and you
Not
drafted.
to alter the subject, but if you was ever in one of our family get-togethers, you swear we hated each other.
Yeah? Oh, you're one of those kind of families, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We love to pick on each other.
Oh, well, that's all right. As long as it's just all in fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I can give you a couple situations, but I'll wait till after the interview.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, that doesn't apply because you didn't enlist. What was your first days of the service like? When you went to boot, you had to go to boot, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to go to boot camp.
And where did you go to basic training?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina. They couldn't send me somewhere where it was cool. No.
Oh no.
Because I got drafted in June.
Wow. Okay. And how did that make you feel there?
It
was tough, wasn't it?
Oh, it's tough. It's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's not that way anymore, but
I've heard they kind of slacked up some, lately, but.
Well, I can't imagine not really particularly caring to go into the service and government telling you had to go, and there you are away from your home and everything. Were you sad? My daughter, when she went in the service, and she wanted to go, and she cried all the time on the phone when I could talk to her. But
well, you're homesick. You're a long way from home.
Uh-huh. And they were pretty tough on you?
Well, yeah, but they're supposed to be.
I know.
Yeah.
But. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Did you have any memorable instructors?
Well, I can't remember names anymore.
Oh yeah, we don't care about that, but
yeah.
We probably wouldn't want to mention their name, but
yeah. Well, I don't know if any of the instructors are. Some of them may be gone by now. But we had one drill sergeant. He had a real sense of humor. Oh boy, he had a sense of humor. All right.
Oh.
On the fifth week, we went through what they call the infiltration course, and he asked before the infiltration course started. He asked. It was on a Friday. He says. How many of you would like to go home for the weekend after this course is over?
Ah.
And he said, anyone who wants to go home after this, just stand up out there because they shoot live ammo over your head. You'll get to go home in a bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
That's what I said. The man had a sense of humor. All right.
Oh boy. Yeah. Any other guys that you think about that were stand out in your mind that
no, not really.
No.
It's, like I said, it's
wake you up in the middle of the night, make you go run laps or stuff like
well,
that.
they probably did stuff like that, but then that's part of the training. You
Sure.
just deal with it.
Yeah. Did you receive any specialized training?
No.
No? Okay.
Basically, in the Army, they train you for do one thing, and that's kill people.
Yeah.
And you hope to God you never have to.
Yeah. After your training, did you get leave or did you go straight to?
I went from Fort Jackson, South Carolina, to Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Okay.
And that was advanced infantry training.
Okay, so then you took infantry training.
Yeah.
How long did that last?
8 weeks.
8 weeks. How did you adapt to military life after being?
No, it was easy to adapt
Okay,
to.
was? Yeah. Okay. Well, you must have been pretty easy to please.
To a point, yes. The pay wasn't the best in the world, but you dealt with it.
Oh yeah, back then it was nothing, was it?
No.
Where did you serve then?
Well, after advanced training, I went to Fort Benning for. It's supposed to be 12 weeks of NCO school, but I only made it to 8 weeks, then washed out. Which is okay because it was Christmas time, and I got to go home.
And not in a bag.
And not in a bag. But
Can I ask why you washed out?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
They just said, it was a 12-week course, and they just, every so often they'd pick so many people that they assumed wasn't going to make it, and for whatever reason,
Okay, gotcha.
And they said, well, it's my turn to go. So they asked us and of course, some of the drill instructors would say, well, if you're going from here, you're going to Vietnam. Well, I went down to where they're supposed to transport us somewhere else, or we got talked to, and they says, how many of you people want to go to Fort Riley, Kansas? It didn't really matter whether you wanted to or not, you was going anyway. You see, and this is my theory behind this. In '68, the Russians invaded Czechoslovakia.
Mm-hmm.
They sent troops into Czechoslovakia. And I think they were building up the armored infantry divisions because they were planning on maneuvers in Germany. So after I went home for 2 weeks for Christmas, I had to go out to Fort Riley, Kansas, get all the stuff together. They slapped me on a plane, and away we went.
To
Germany.
To Germany, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you like it in Germany? Okay.
Well, Germany was okay. The only problem I hated about it was it could have been in May instead of January. But
the weather again, yeah. Oh.
But the German people are, pretty interesting people. I mean, you think of it, you'd be out there in bivouac, out there in the tents, out there in the woods somewhere on a Sunday morning, and all these people come strolling through there, just like nothing going on. Yeah.
And did they bring you food and stuff and like?
No,
nothing like that,
no.
huh?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Didn't treat you quite that well, but okay.
No, they weren't hostile toward us, but they just didn't bring us stuff to eat. we had them lovely sea rations. What else do we need?
Right. Well, I don't know. I just thought maybe they'd come out on Sunday and picnic with you or something.
No,
nothing like that.
Because we were on maneuvers, and that probably wasn't allowed in the first place.
Well, do you have any other thoughts or experiences that you had when you were over in Germany that's worth mentioning?
Well, the only couple of things. I didn't like the showers because it was old World War II German barracks. Well, you had to go from where you slept to another building for a shower. If you weren't the first 10 or 15 people in there, you got cold water. The water heating system wasn't the greatest. But I think the only memorable thing I did, because I was only over in Germany for about a month, 3 weeks to a month, was I had to escort a prisoner to Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm.
That was Nuremberg, that's where we went. The gentleman, he got into a disagreement with a staff sergeant and called him something that I can't repeat.
Oh, okay.
And I know he did it because I was standing there when he did it. So evidently they had a court-martial because that's disrespect to an NCO.
Mm-hmm.
They must have had a court-martial, and it didn't last long because he probably pled guilty. And for being disrespectful of staff sergeant by calling him a name, he got 4 months in the stockade.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, they're tough.
Yeah, yep.
So me and another gentleman, and I don't remember their names anymore, but we had to escort. We were we didn't have, we had like weapons, but we didn't have any ammo in them. It wasn't any big deal. Because he knew he was going to stockade. We knew he was going to stockade. We sitting in the back of the truck in January where there ain't no heat. Haul him down there because I think Nuremberg was where the stockade was.
Oh, sure.
Well, we stopped in this roadside, one of these roadside restaurant kind of things that they have over there. And I thought, well, we get a snack on the way down there. And not one of them spoke English. And none of us spoke German. Yeah, trying to explain what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and so you got your prisoner to where he needed to go, and
that was it.
That was it, huh?
Then flew back home. Well, flew back home. We weren't in like combat ready, so. And a lot of people don't know, but when you fly in a military aircraft, all the seats in the aircraft are backwards.
Oh.
In other words, when you're sitting in a conventional plane, you're sitting here, cockpit's up there.
Right.
Military, you're sitting here, cockpit's back here.
Oh, so you're seeing where you've been.
Yeah, something like that. But we got to go up. We got to go up in the cockpit and chat with the pilots. And
how long were you in Germany?
Well, like I said, about 3 weeks to a month.
Oh, okay. And there's a question here. It says, "What was the weather like?" I mean, you were there in the winter.
Wintertime. Yeah, we had snow, and it wasn't half bad. But there's a couple of days it got colder and blazes. And of course, we were out in the field. And I haven't found a pup tent yet that had a heating system.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. And it says, did you see combat or were your duties away from the battle? There was
no.
Not in Germany then, but.
Some people think I fought the Indians in Fort Riley, Kansas.
That's what my kids tell my husband. I think they also tell him he probably played football with a leather helmet.
Well, I got friends that tell me that I made the comment about a flintlock rifle. Well, being wiseacre, this is just earlier this year. I was making a comment about flintlock rifle because they had guys dressed up at Paxton Buckley Road High School as different war periods. And like a wiseacre, I says, I wonder if that flintlock is belt fed or magazine fed. And my buddy standing back next to me said, you wouldn't know. When you were in, they were only still using rocks.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
Oh, I know. And you're not that old. Did you make any close friends while you were in the service?
Well, I probably did then, but like I said, I'm sure I did. But like I said, I forgot them all.
Sure. So you don't keep close contact with them now?
No. See, the problem with during the Vietnam, especially the latter years of the Vietnam War, is nobody operated as a unit.
Right.
You'd have people come in, people go out, more people come in, and you had many different people from many different units that were either transferred in for a few months till their term was up and then they go home, or vice versa.
Yeah, that's what my friend said too. He gave a speech Memorial Day, and he said the exact same thing. He said, we don't get together because nobody knew each other. Like you say, they moved in, they moved out, moved in, moved out. So totally different lifestyle.
It wasn't like the World War II or Korea where the whole units went.
Yeah, that whole thing was totally different, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do for entertainment and relaxation?
Not a cotton picking thing.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No, I just stayed in the Barry. I didn't care. I only had 2 years ago, and
okay. And what did you do when you went on leave?
Just came home.
And.
Yeah.
What did you? Was there any entertainers that ever came to visit you when you were?
No.
Okay.
No. In Kansas, I doubt if they ever find a place.
Or in Germany. Do you recall any humorous or unusual events?
Outside of that, no, can't really say as I do.
What was your most memorable experience while serving?
Just the whole 2 years actually. I did have to testify against one guy that fell asleep on guard duty.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, he fell asleep on guard duty, and his shift was 2-hour shifts. Mm-hmm. So his shift was before mine. Well, we showed up and they posted us in a motor pool. That's what was guarding. We got two guys guarding. One guy shows up at the gate. Okay, where's the other guy? The guy didn't wait to find him either. So I'm rotating around through the vehicles. Now I look in there, and there he is, sleeping and sleep.
Oh, he crawled in one of the
He was in one of the vehicles.
Oh, ouch.
But he never got convicted of it.
Oh, yeah?
Because that prosecutor didn't have sense enough to charge him with what he should have charged him with. He charged him with leaving his post. He didn't leave his post. He was sleeping on it.
Right.
Dereliction of duty he could have got him for.
Sure.
But they charged him with leaving his post. I mean, the guy that I testified against, we all rode down in the car. We rode back together like it was no big deal.
Sure.
But yeah, he gets down there and they testify. I found him sleeping in the truck here. Yeah. They threw the case out. They acquitted him.
Sure. Oh, okay. Well, that's...
technicality stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, it says what was the food like? Well, you were just eating sea rations, weren't you?
No. We had food. Yeah, the food wasn't too bad.
Oh, now you're talking
mess hall.
In state or in Germany?
Germany when we was when we was in base, which wasn't very long, you eat at the mess hall.
Okay.
When you're out in the field, you had sea rations.
Oh, okay. And how was the mess hall food?
It was pretty good. It wasn't too bad.
Okay.
When you had time enough if you had time enough to enjoy it.
Oh, okay. Tell us why you wouldn't have time enough to enjoy it.
They don't give you time to eat.
Don't they?
No. You sit down there, and they're very strict on it. They were very strict on that stuff. You sit down there, you get your plate, you get your tray, you put the food on there, you go down there, eat, and you get out. That's it.
Do you still eat fast like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, my husband does too. Yeah.
Somebody says, why? Somebody asked me one day, why do you eat so fast? You have 2 years of dealing with it. You do it out of habit.
Yeah. When you were in Germany, did you ever eat the local food or drink the local water or anything like that? No.
It was all either on base or on the maneuvers, and that was it.
Okay. And where did you sleep? Pup tent, you said, or?
Well, out in the field, a tent.
Tent in the field. But that was in Germany. Yes.
In the States, when we went on maneuvers, and this is another thing I really liked about Kansas. When you go out in maneuvers in June, we would go out one day, come back. In the wintertime, we go out and stay for 8 days and come back.
Oh boy.
Somebody should explain these things. It's cold in January.
And did you have plenty of supplies?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you have plenty of warm clothes when you went out there for 8 days?
Oh yeah.
And you did though. You did.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Plenty of warm clothes.
Yeah.
You wore what you wore out there, and that was it.
Oh.
Somebody asked me one time, how often do you change underwear? You don't.
But they didn't give you coats or anything to wear out there?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
You carried out what you had.
That was part of your gear. Okay.
Unlike here, where you have change of clothes every day, there you didn't.
Yeah, okay.
You ain't got time to haul around that stuff. Well, when I was in Kansas, when I was in Kansas, well, it was the same over there, but I was in the cavalry unit. No horses. Mechanized cavalry.
Okay.
When I got back from Germany, they changed me from a 11B, which is infantry, to 11D, which is like a scout.
Ah.
And I got to drive an M114.
Which is?
It's a three-person armored reconnaissance vehicle.
Ah. And what was it equipped with?
Well, if it had total equipment, it would have grenade launchers. It would have an M60 machine gun on the back hatch. The commander's hatch would have a 50 caliber.
Okay.
And if you're lucky, the heat worked. If you're lucky.
Okay.
I've also, because they're short-handed because of Vietnam, I was also, I could have brought pictures of them because I got them in the car. But the M114 was my main vehicle. Then they kind of I went to a M551 Sheridan. As a driver on that. It's a light armored tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they have more, but they have grenade launchers and they have, I think you can fire missiles off of them and stuff like that. A different kind of shell. And for a few days, I was a loader on an M60 main battle tank.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you had to be quick with that thing too.
Tell us about it.
Well, you're sitting back here. I was a loader, see? Okay, and the loaders. Okay, imagine the gun's facing that way.
Okay.
And if you that's a gun on the tank. If you call your rifle a gun, you'd be doing push-ups till whatever freezes over.
Ah.
You cannot call a rifle a gun. No.
Oh, no.
It's a weapon.
Weapon. Okay.
Anyway, main gun's pointing that way. Okay, you got a what they call a coaxial machine gun because it operates with a turn. It's so side. You got the so you're sitting back here. Driver's up front, guns here, the loader's over here. The loader's the only one that doesn't have a hatch. So if you ever got in combat and got hit, the loader's pretty well screwed.
Oh.
The commander's over here, and the loader was where I was at. The shells are right behind me. Now, when you load the gun, they give you the target, and then they can tell you what you have to because you have more than one type of shell.
Uh-huh.
You have high explosive shell, you have armor piercing shell, and stuff like that. Well, you're going up against armored vehicles, you use the armor piercing or AP shell. The high explosive is HE. They just say HE, and they say, okay, 1 round HE. You pick the shell up, and it weighs about 75 pounds. You put it, you nose in the breech, and you slam it shut. But you have to release your hand from the shell before it gets in there, because that breech block comes up just like that.
Ow.
You can lose your fingers.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it.
So you get there and you slam that shell in there like that, and then you say up. And the gunner says on the way. And downrange
Down she goes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you use that like for a house or something, or a building you were gonna?
You can use high explosive for certain buildings, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the ones that do the.
You use them for armored.
Just armored vehicles.
Just armored vehicles.
Okay.
You can use them for armored vehicles or trucks. Yeah.
And what did it do to the armored vehicle? I mean, did it go through, or did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's odd because you see these war movies.
Yeah.
One of them shells hits and that thing blows up. That's not necessarily the case. What the shell is designed to do, it hits the vehicle, then it burns a hole into
okay.
So you're going to see a tank is destroyed. It's only got a hole about that big, But once that shell gets inside, it throws hot lead and everything else all over the place.
It does its job. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're kind of confused on when we watch TV and see some of that stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I'd love to sit down with a bunch of people and watch some of these old war movies, because I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Battle of the Bulge.
Absolutely.
Every one of those German tanks are American tanks.
Oh. Yeah.
They're just colored like German tanks. They call them Tiger tanks.
Sure.
And they're M48 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But the normal person wouldn't know that.
No, they wouldn't.
No. Yeah.
Well, I saw them. I didn't know it either until after I went in the service. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before you went in the service, we didn't have TVs, did we? I mean,
yeah, I had. I actually before I went in, I actually bought a color TV.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Just a good conduct medal, and I got marksman on the M14 rifle and expert badge on the M60 machine gun.
Good for you. And what did you do to get them? It asks.
Well, good conduct is you behave yourself.
Right.
The marksman and the machine gun, you just hit so many targets, and the more targets you hit, the better your score.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense, doesn't it? And what rank did you achieve before you got out?
E4 specialist.
E4.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. And
I remember one time on the rifle, we had the M14s. They also have M14s automatics. See, there's a difference between an automatic rifle and a semi-automatic rifle. And the stupid news media ain't smart enough to understand it.
Absolutely.
A semi-automatic fire, you have to pull a trigger every time. You can shoot it rapidly, but you have to pull a trigger every time you fire a bullet. Well, automatic, you just pull a trigger one time and a whole bunch of bullets go out there. So we had the M14s on the firing range, and we take turns firing because you got the drill instructor behind you. Now, they get chewed out for this too. Because I'm sitting there and I'm lining the weapon up, and I want to make sure I'm right on target when it's my turn to fire. So I practice squeezing the trigger, which was fine. but I forgot to put the safety in.
Oh.
So I got about 3 or 4 rounds go down range. Did I hear about that?
Oh boy, I'll betcha. Uh-huh.
I mean, there's nobody down there.
Yeah.
But still.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Where were you when the war ended, and what was your reaction to the news?
Well, I was kind of happy the war was over, but kind of sad at the same time of the way it ended.
Right.
And when I got back from Germany, I always thought they was going to send me to Vietnam because I had like 17 months left.
Mm.
I mean, it's a 12-month tour over there. And as time goes by, evidently they didn't want me over there, so I stayed in Fort Riley the rest of the time.
And that's Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you recall the day that your service ended?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
last day. We see technically your service doesn't end.
right.
Active duty does, but because you're when the drafted or enlisted, they own you for 6 years.
Yes.
But draftees only have 2 years active duty. Yeah. Last day, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was a lieutenant. He was our commanding officer in my platoon, or my troop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, it's platoon. Okay, anyway. we was on board a plane, was getting ready to come home, because he was going to Chicago to a wedding or something or other, and of course I was getting out. Well, the plane, they canceled the flight.
Mm.
There was a mechanical problem with one of the wings or the landing gear or something like that, and then we had to transfer to a different plane. 2 years in the service, and I get killed flying home.
Yeah.
That's cute. That ruined my week.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically about it.
That was about it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And had you fulfilled your military service? Yes, you had.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And were others discharged with you? And well, you already answered. How did you return home?
Well, he wasn't. The officer wasn't discharged.
No, I know that, but
Yeah.
it says were others discharged with you. Was there anybody else on?
No.
No, just you and.
Just me and that lieutenant.
Okay. How did you handle switching your mindset when it was time to go home? Was it difficult?
Yeah. No.
No. What kind of reception did you receive when you arrived home?
Nothing.
Family, community? Did they do
No.
didn't have a parade or anything for you?
Nope.
No?
That was the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that's
You're lucky that people didn't say nasty things to you.
Yeah, and I guess I was curious about the guys that didn't go to Vietnam. Did you get any better reception when you came home?
Oh,
Was
no.
you were all lumped together as
All lumped
Vietnam veterans.
I didn't really run into a problem with some of the people, but most of the people that ran into problems were generally coming from overseas.
Right.
I had a buddy of mine. He was stationed in Panama all the time. But see, when you flew back to the United States, you flew into one of the major airports, and that's where you had your biggest problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I just flew out of a small airport in Kansas into a small airport in Illinois, and that was basically it. I never had a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think they had I even flew into Chicago and O'Hare, and I don't think they ever had problems there either.
Really?
Yeah. It's usually like on the West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast was bad.
Yeah.
I know. I had friends that were in Vietnam, and they were told not to wear their uniforms home.
Oh yeah.
You know. And what have you been doing since then?
Well, I drove a truck for a while. Then I became a mail carrier.
Oh, cool.
Rural mail carrier.
And that's kind of hazardous pay. Rural.
Yeah, oh, it's hazardous, all right.
I know it. I live out in the boondocks. I feel sorry for my postman.
Especially if you ride with me.
Oh, they're Alan. Well, that's another story, right? Mm-hmm. Are you a member of any veterans organizations? And if so, what ones? VFW, Legion? And what activities do you enjoy participating in with that group?
Well, I like going to different meetings because I'm the incoming division commander.
Oh, are
division,
you?
Yeah.
And fourth division?
Fourth division.
Okay.
That includes Springfield.
Yeah.
We got 23 counties in this division.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm the chaplain for the 3rd Division. And I just got done 2 years of being the president for the 15th District. Have you had the opportunity to attend any reunions?
Oh no, like I said,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
it was almost like where you was there for 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years, and that was it.
that was it. Yep. And I know, I know other guys have said, you didn't really want to make friends. 'Cause you never knew.
Have you ever went to combat? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it is hard enough to watch them get killed anyway, unless you're one of them. That was my biggest fear. One of my biggest fears of, if I had to go to Vietnam, one of my biggest fears is getting killed and they never find my remains.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to be buried at home.
Sure. Yep, I can see that point. Absolutely.
And my other fear was a question a lot of them, I don't think they ever admit it, but the biggest question a lot of them have, I believe, is, I'm going to be sent to a combat zone. Can I kill someone? Because we're raised that, it's wrong.
Right, right.
Then you go into, and I don't care what kind of training you have, and I don't care what kind of training you have in the Army, there's still that nagging religious belief it's wrong to kill people.
Right, yeah.
But you got to do it.
Right, yeah. How has your service and experience while you were in the service affected your life?
Well, it probably made me a little more, time conscious. In other words, I got very little tolerance for people that don't show up on time.
Oh,
I hate that. I hate that with a passion.
I know.
And it's not so much inconvenience. Inconvenience is me, for one thing. It's not that I'm a selfish person, but if I plan A, B, C, and D at certain times, some bozo on there doesn't show up on time, that affects everybody else down the line. That's just flat selfish.
Right.
Yep.
I agree with that totally. What lessons have you learned because of your military service?
Well, it's basically discipline. Yeah.
How did your military experience influence your thinking about war or military in general?
War is unfortunately a necessary evil. War is an ugly business, but hey, if everybody followed the 10 Commandments, you wouldn't have this war problem.
That's right.
Leave each other alone.
That's right. Has anyone thanked you for your service?
They do now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I just got this pin earlier. Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
Great.
Yeah. Alex asked if you have any photos you want to share with us or talk to us about. You should have brought them. You said they were in the car. Got something?
I got one. If I can do this right.
Blink. Oh, sweet.
That was taken in Germany.
Put that up, hold that up to the camera so we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Did I lose it? I'm sorry.
That's okay. The thing dies out after a few
Yeah.
seconds. Oh, come on, I want the numbers to go away. I gotta get this. Oh, I hate the stupid phones.
Can't live with them, can't live without them. Kind of like men.
Men, you can't live with them at all. Well, it's gonna have to, the numbers are there, but I can't get, well,
Went away.
okay,
It's gone.
there we go, quick.
Pull it back. Back. Oh, is it? It's gone again, but it didn't show up real well.
I was gonna say, you can plug it in and transfer it, I don't know.
Pull it back. Huh? It keeps going away.
Well,
It's whenever you move it back, it goes bye.
no, it's one of the power savers.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it's going to show up that much, but I got a question for you. It's not on the card here. It's not on the paper, but have you filled out your paperwork to go on the honor flight?
Already did, scheduled for next year.
Sweet. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone on 3 as a guardian, and I tell everybody I talk to, especially the Vietnam era. You people weren't treated right when you came home, and you need to be honored, and it is. Are you going to go like out of the Springfield area?
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Any feelings you got that you want to have mentioned, or we've filled out our paperwork, but
Sorry, I couldn't have any more pictures for you.
yeah, that's too bad.
I don't know how long you're going to be here today, but
Well, I don't know. Can we get them back? Can we get this? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think she's going to be here most of the afternoon. So I guess you can, if you can bring the pictures in.
yeah, they're in the car.
Yeah.
Their computer. I mean, I got them off the computer. The
Sure.
different vehicles I operated, one way or the other.
Oh yeah, great. I think just bring them in. They'll do something about it.
I had staff sergeant with an M113 is bigger than a 114, but it's a armored troop carrier. And he had to go. He wanted to pick it up at the motor pool, so he wanted to drive. Well, I'm the lower rank, so I'm supposed to drive it. Yeah, I wasn't driving. So he gets in, goes start it up, and it won't start. And he tries it again, it won't start. Tries it again, it won't start. So he decides he's going to get up there and take there's a plate under the bottom of it. You take off, you can reach up in the engine. So you have to crawl on the ground to get to it. So he does that, and he says, "Reach over there and try starting that thing." So I look down, I reach over from the commander's hatch, which is right behind the driver's hatch. I reached over there to start it. I said, "Sergeant, you know, if you'd have put this thing at park instead of leave it and drive, the thing would probably start." And it did.
There you go.
Yep.
Oh. So your experience military-wise was basically pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's an honor to serve the country.
Absolutely. I'm sure it is. Well, I wished I would have gone and done my part, but anyway, anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, we got 37 minutes in, so.
No, not really. I mean, a lot of people say they like to do their part, but not everybody go to the military and still do their part.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I feel like I am now.
You got to realize there's a lot of mothers out there that lost their children.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they've done their part whether they like it or not.
That's right. Yeah. We had a gal come in and talk. I don't know if it was a Gold Star, and I didn't think about it at the time. But the people that have POWs that have never seen them since. The lady was saying, her grandpa was a POW. They don't know where he is, what he did. She said he'd be 110 now, but still,
He's dead by now.
Well, yeah, but did he get a new family? Did he hide? Was he killed? You don't know.
Yeah.
So that to me is very sad. So anyway, Ron, I guess we'll close out unless you got something else you want to say.
No, that's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.